Hey guys, I am coming to you from the classroom, and I am going to show you today how to polish rocks. Now, you're probably thinking, why in the world do I even care how to polish rock? Well, when we polish the rocks, okay, it's going to simulate how rocks are broken down to be turned into sedimentary rocks. We know that rocks are broken down by a process called weathering, and this process is going to simulate how rocks are weathered. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this rock polishing, weathering process is a long process. So we're not going to have the finished product until probably like 2 weeks from now. So I'm going to show you update videos every so often. I'm going to explain as we go. But today I'm going to show you, number one, how to get started with this process, and number two, how even this works. All right, so let's get started. So this is something called a rock polisher. It's also called a rock tumbler. And you can see in this picture here that it is a machine, and it takes rocks from looking plain and not shiny, and it weathers and breaks them down inside of this machine, and it turns them into shiny, nice, polished rocks. And it does that by breaking down the big pieces of rock by using pieces of other rocks and pieces of sand to scrub against the rocks on the inside and break down those rocks. So I found some rocks, and notice these rocks are not polished. I found them, went outside, and I found some of them outside. I found some of them as rock samples that I had here at school. And we're going to talk about a few of them. We're going to, look at how they look now. That way we can compare after they are done being polished. We can compare to how they look later. So I found some rocks that definitely are sedimentary. You can see that they have layers, and the layers are pretty straight. So that definitely, I found some sedimentary rocks. And as we talk about them, I'm going to go ahead and put them in this black thing. This is what they will be tumbled around inside of for days and days until they are smooth. So we've already talked about this one. This is sedimentary rock. I wish you could see it in person. It's really, really shiny. So I'm going to put those in there. I've also have some more pieces of this sedimentary rock. You can see the layers. So we're going to throw all that in there. Again, more sedimentary rock. You can really, really see the straight layers in this one. Now I have another piece. I think this is the last piece that I have of that sedimentary rock. I also have this. Hopefully you will know that this is an igneous rock, and we can tell that because it has black crystals in it from where the volcanic lava has cooled down and is now left behind pieces of ash in the rock. So there's our igneous rock. Here's another piece of our igneous rock. This even has a line of ash left in it. Let's see. This right here, this is just a rock that I found outside actually. Looks kind of plain, but it does have black crystals in it, so that probably means it was igneous at one time or another. There probably was a volcano around here thousands and thousands and millions of years ago that left this behind. So we're going to throw that in there. Here's another sedimentary rock. You can see the layers. Let's put that in there. What else? Here's a rock that I found outside again. This is a sedimentary rock, and I don't know if you can see through the camera, but it has a bunch of teeny little pieces that have all stuck together and formed into this larger sedimentary rock. So we're going to put that in there. Let's see. This is another sedimentary rock. This is conglomerate. It's just a big jumbled mess of pieces all squished up together to form another rock. So we're gonna throw that in there. Here's another rock that I found outside. Another sedimentary rock. You can tell it has a bunch of pieces that have been squished up together into a larger rock. Let's see here. This rock is another igneous rock. It has the black crystals in it. I'm gonna put that in there. Let's see. This rock is a larger piece of that sedimentary rock that I was showing you just a few seconds ago. Has a bunch of different pieces you can see that have been compacted together into a larger rock. So putting that in there. Let's see. We have this. This is a piece of slate. They used slate a long time ago to make blackboards with, chalkboards to write with. And if I rub my finger against this, it will leave black behind on my finger. And if it'll focus on my finger, it will leave black behind on my fingers. This is what they used to make chalkboards with. So we're going to put that in there. Next, we have this rock. This was another rock that I found outside. It is a sedimentary rock because even though the layers aren't different colors, you can still see that there are straight layers throughout. And I'm going to throw that in there. Here's another piece of our igneous rock that was just broken off. Next, another piece of that sedimentary rock. It has some tiny pieces inside of it. We're going to throw that in here. Next, this is just a teeny little piece of another rock. It's actually a piece of this. This is something called quartz. It's actually a crystal. And I know in 5th grade we don't really learn about crystals, but crystals are really, really cool whenever you polish them. You usually find this quartz crystal near igneous rocks. So it was near a volcano at one time or another. So I'm just going to stick that in there because I think it's really cool looking. And again, here's another quartz crystal. Again, put that in there. Next, we have this. This is a piece of gravel I found out on the side of the road, right outside of school. It is an igneous rock. We're going to throw that in. Again, this is a tiny little piece of the sedimentary rock that I had earlier. It just got broken off. I found this rock outside in the parking lot of the school. It is a sedimentary rock. You can see the pieces that have all been squished up together to make a new rock. Again, I found this one outside of the school. Sedimentary rock. It has a bunch of little tiny pieces that have been compacted together to form this rock. This is actually a crystal. It's not a rock. Rocks and crystals are two very different things. It is a crystal. It's actually something called a green, some people might call it an emerald, but it's not quite an emerald. It is not as expensive as an emerald. It's actually called a green jasper. It is a type of crystal. It is often found near volcanoes. Although it's not an igneous rock, it is near igneous rock. So we're going to throw that in there. Here's another piece of the crystal that I was talking about. And finally, I have these two rocks. This is just a piece of that green crystal that I just had. And this is a rock that I found outside on the sidewalk. It is a sedimentary rock. It has a bunch of pieces all compacted together to form this small sedimentary rock. Throwing it in there. This is the container that our rocks are going to be polished and tumbled around in. So as you can see, they're all in there, and I will explain to you how we're going to take these boring looking rocks and we're going to change them into rocks that look beautiful and shiny like this. All right, this is the actual rock tumbler itself. This black thing sits on these rollers, and the rollers spin and spin and turn the black thing around and around and around with the rocks inside, and it helps them polish because it's being weathered. The rocks are being weathered while they are inside of this container. Now, in order for them to actually be weathered, we have to put something inside of the container for them to be weathered by. We know rocks can become weathered by scrubbing up against other rocks. We know rocks can become weathered by wind, by water, by outside forces. All right, so to simulate these rocks being weathered like they would normally be outside, we're going to add something called coarse grit. Okay, coarse grit. And you can kind of see in the bag, looks like sand or looks like black sand actually. These are tiny, tiny pieces of other rocks that I'm going to pour into this black container. And these pieces, they're really rough. They're going to scrub up against these rocks and they're going to help smooth them out. Because whenever rocks are weathered, they're becoming more smooth. That is what is in this bag also. So I'm going to pour these bags of coarse grit into this container. So here is what the coarse grit looks like close up. Like I said, it looks like black sand. It's really, really sharp pieces in there. I wish you guys could touch it. It feels really, really rough. It does not feel as smooth as sand. So I'm going to pour this into this container. Okay, so I have my rocks in there. I have the stuff in there that's going to help weather the rocks. So all that is in there together. Now, the next thing I need, we know that rocks can be weathered by water, along with things like this, like scrubbing up against them for long periods of time. So I'm going to add this water into this container. That way I have something to help along my weathering process. So I'm going to pour this water. I'm going to pour some into this container. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do, I'm going to have to do this off camera because I need both hands. But all I'm going to do is take this lid. This is the lid that goes onto this container. I'm going to put the lid on now. Okay, so I went ahead and put the lid on, and it has this little black ring around the edge, and it has the lid secured, so that way when I set it onto this motor over here, the rocks and the water won't dump out. Okay, so I'm going to turn it to the side, and you can hear the rocks in there. I'm setting it on this barrel. Okay, and all I have to do now is turn the motor on. All right, so all I have to do is just plug it in here, and there it goes. Now, this needs to be run constantly for at least 7 full days. It needs to be run 7 full days, 24 hours a day. So I'm not going to be able to update you guys as to what is going on with our rock tumbler for at least 7 days, which will be next Friday. So, like I said, it's a really long process. We'll have to tumble this for 7 days. Then we have different types of grit to add. Next, we'll have to add this fine grit to help smooth things along a little bit more. After that, we'll have to add the pre-polish just to clean the rocks off. And then finally, after that, we will add the polish to make them look really shiny. But that, like I said, is going to be at least a 2 to 3 week process. So these rocks are just going to tumble away, and you'll have to listen really carefully because you may hear the rocks tumbling in the background of our live meetings. So I will be back to you in a week with an update on our rocks.